Welcome to JSA TV, where we're covering the latest news, trends, and innovations from thought leaders from within the digital infrastructure industry. I am Dean Perrine, and we are coming at you live. That's right, gentlemen. We are live at PTC 2026 in beautiful Honolulu, Hawaii. For PTC 2026, I said that already. And these two good-looking guys to my right are Mr. Nabeel Mahmood. Nabeel is the CEO of Nomad Futurist, and Mr. Phil Koblence. Phil is the co-founder of Nomad Futurist. Gentlemen, welcome as always to JSA TV.
I feel like your intonation has gotten a lot better. There's a lot of ups and downs in your...
Impressing you was precisely what I needed.
Since we did this like 10 years ago, I feel like there's been a lot more of these intonation ups and downs.
Hi, guys. I like to keep it interesting.
Right. I love it. I love it.
Nabeel, what's new with Nomad Futurists?
Well, aloha.
Aloha.
Welcome to Hawaii. Yeah, so a lot's been going on with Nomad Futurist. We sat over here with you last year. We said that we were going to be launching our academy. Well, folks, it's live.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Yeah, and you might have heard that we are starting a program with University of Barcelona. That came out last week. We also formed a partnership with Moringa School in Kenya. And IX Africa, Snehar Shah, who's the CEO of the company, has actually been gracious in starting an internship program as well after the students graduate from our academy. We've got roughly about 400 or so hours worth of course content currently in development. We're pushing that content out currently on a bi-monthly basis, and hopefully we can get some folks engaged who can look at some of this content, review it from a general public, general audience perspective, provide some feedback so we can start pushing it out at a much better cadence, potentially, hopefully even weekly as we move forward. There's a lot of partnerships that have started to come to the fruition, and people have started to step up and participate, support, and drive the narrative globally. Besides Antarctica, we are global now.
That's 2027, maybe.
Yeah.
Look, I think the part of what we're doing is kind of boiling the ocean, and one of the most impactful things we did this year was we went to the OCP conference. We brought 75 students.
Correct.
To the OCP conference, many of which we actually sponsored and flew in from all around North America, including Canada, and we were able to give a guided tour. And it really felt like the culmination of all of our things, just seeing the looks on those students' faces when they were walking through and seeing a lot of this technology they read about. It's just, and one thing struck me at the OCP conference that I think also, kind of gives a little bit of context into all of the things that Nabeel is talking about, which is that they said in the opening statements that the last year has been the most impactful decade in all of compute.
That makes a hell of a lot of sense.
And it really feels like since last year, there has been a decade's worth of stuff that has happened. Like, it's hard to believe it's only been 12 months since the last time we spoke. And we have this kind of global phenom of a foundation that is getting, we're continually humbled by the support we're getting from, communities around the planet, and getting to see so many of, the kind of Nomad Futurist ambassadors and friends at PTC. It feels like a homecoming. To a certain extent, so it's amazing.
Number one, congratulations, guys. I mean, the accomplishments that you had in 2025, pretty spectacular. But it also leads me to, obviously, we're not going to look at any.
We don't need a script.
But so here's my question. You guys have been at this for a while now. And again, lots of really great accomplishments over the last year and beyond. How are attitudes changing with young people to the industry? In my mind's eye, I'm thinking maybe there's more interest now because the industry quite literally is touching every single vertical that they might be interested in, whether it be healthcare or education or whatever. We're touching everything now, and so you guys would naturally have some legitimate pathways into all of these other verticals. How are attitudes changing towards our industry because of it?
So roughly about 3 years ago, we were the best kept secret, right? Before Nomad Futures really kicked off as a non-profit 501c3 organization. What we've started to see is a lot more interest, people actually taking data centers and the compute layer as a potentially serious career pathways. There's more excitement because people are using more and more of the technology stack. Applications become native. Everything is accessible at your fingertips. So the user experience, that awareness, that exposure, that experience and the tools that, for instance, what we have set forth, giving them accessibility to the sector. Let's take them out to see a data center. Let's go to a software development company, have a sit down and have a hackathon, and those experiences are driving major change in them being encouraged to start looking at this as a pathway. Secondly, I mean, what Phil mentioned earlier with our partnership with Open Compute and bringing 75 students and offering, I think we offered a scholarship to roughly about 25, 26 students that we paid their entire way to
Fantastic.
the conference, and resulting in
Economy.
resulting in a few of them actually walking away with job opportunities. Now they are our best spokespeople.
Yeah.
That okay, so they experienced this firsthand. They got an opportunity from a conference that they went to. That speaks volumes. So, I believe where we're right now as an organization, as an industry, that the journey is just starting. We have basically built the field. Now it's time to practice, and then we can start playing the final game.
I remember the first event we had when we conceived of the concept of Nomad Futurist as more than just a podcast was, I want to say it was Data Center World 2021, which was in Orlando. And one of the slides we had was, trying to get like the at like a breakfast table or a dinner table, like the grandparents and the parents to say more than "we want you to be a doctor or a lawyer," like happened in my house the entire time. And I feel like because the data center industry is making the front page of all the papers, if people read papers, the news, it's making the news a lot. You have a lot of focus from the kind of elders in a family saying, maybe this is an industry you should be interested in. And just that level of awareness that happened by accident. We're not taking credit for it at all, but we are in the right place at the right time. And I think, like, one specific example is my sister, who has been my sister for all 47 of my years. Sylvia, how you doing? She lives in Glen Allen, Virginia, outside
I'm
of Richmond.
sorry, Sylvia.
It's fine. She's she knows.
Put up with it for 47 years.
She's aged a lot more gracefully than I have. And I have been in this industry for 30 years. This is my 30th year in this industry. And she was at a community board meeting in Glen Allen, Virginia, where they were talking about like approving a data center development within their community, and it was the first time she ever texted me asking me what I did for a living, and saying, "Don't you do something with data centers?" After 30 years, I got my first question. It was like 2 months ago. So it is like it's in every facet of our society, and now it's starting to get to the kitchen table where it might actually be a career path that parents and grandparents are talking to about their children.
Guys, your answer is far more eloquent than my question was. That's exactly that has been my experience, frankly. At Thanksgiving last November, my dad, who almost always just wants to talk about politics, said, "Hey, they're trying to build a data center in Lakes, or just outside of Lake Station, Indiana, which is where my parents live." And my dad was just like, "So is that gonna harm the dog?" And I'm like, this is the rubber meeting the road right here in my living room. And I'm like, "Dad, probably not unless you like take him to the data center and hit him over the head with a baseball bat. There's the dog's probably going to be just fine." But that's like, and so obviously I wasn't there to change my dad's attitude about it, but there are a lot of misconceptions about the industry, not just about data centers, but about the industry in general. Like your comment with regard to like you're going to be a doctor or a lawyer. You could look at the industry, you could look at the equipment, the tech stack that we have right now if you look at it as the human body, it's as intricate. There are as many moving parts there as there are in the human body. And so like wanting to understand how that works is intriguing. And I would imagine that alone is probably changing some attitudes.
Yeah, I mean, I think you make a great point. Like, I mean, 3 years ago, I mean, even probably last year, your dad was not talking about data centers or even knew what it was. As a matter of fact, probably didn't even know what you did for a living.
Well, they would always just say, "Well, my son's into computers." I'm like, "Well, I use one." I think, so yeah, you're right.
So that's actually changed. And to Phil's point, like, I mean, we are in every media. Wilson, the guy from the office space, has actually left his office under the stairwell somewhere. Now he's in the corner office and making the front news.
He's got a stapler back. He finally got a stapler back.
He's got his stapler back.
That's right. Okay, guys, we got what else? What's next?
Yeah, so one of the things we did this year for the first time is we put on a Manahui event, which means powerful gathering. So we had a remarkable turnout at the Outriggers Canoe Club, which is kind of off property, and it was just unbelievable. I'll show you some pictures of it. Maybe we'll add them to this video broadcast at some point. It was incredible again to see the outpouring of support and to see people. I mean, the fact that it was offsite took like a 15-minute Uber ride. Yeah. You can tell that people came intentionally, and as a consequence of that, just super meaningful conversations. And it was the first real kind of Nomad Futurist event that we put on, and it was an incredible success. I'm looking off camera and I'm seeing Hannah Herrera, who was instrumental in making that a successful event for us. And our goal is to have those events in every region, continuing to take that kind of spirit of Hawaii. Look at me talking about the spirit of Hawaii next to this guy. Taking that spirit, because our home base feels like Hawaii, because that's where this entire thing was built, notwithstanding the fact that I have Maui sitting next to me. And trying to take. I was talking about Maui from Moana, which, and taking that spirit and that same kind of togetherness on the road in every market, whether it's in Maya or we're launching something in Australia and New Zealand, and I think this is the year where we're really going to start building on the momentum that is the wind is at our backs.
And there's a lot of good stuff in the queue as well. So some of the announcements would be is that we're going to be developing a skill matching platform. So with your educational background and our experiences, try to figure out what's the right fit for you. And that's going to be interconnected with the academy eventually to ensure that we are feeding you right content and helping you get to be that subject matter expert. Besides that, another thing that's in the queue, I mean, again, at the end of the day, we are a data-driven organization and we are servicing the data center or technology platform for that matter. So we want to make sure that we are providing tools, resources to individuals to be able to skill up and scale up as they enter into our sector. And not only that, but stay for long term. So we recently did a study on the happiness index, so people that are in the space, learn from them.
Happiness index.
We don't have time to get into it, but we will one day.
We will. Besides that, I think the next big thing is that Nomad Futurist is going to be launching Nomad Hawaii, which is going to be our first golf invitational.
You guys just need to calm down.
Right. Yeah, that's more to come.
It's ridiculous.
But it will be available.
How much film do you have in this thing? We can keep on going.
The information will be available on the website and other platforms shortly.
Gentlemen, you guys have hearts as big as the investment in the industry, and we truly appreciate your being on JSA TV. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having us.
You bet. And thank you, viewers, for watching JSA TV. We will see you real soon.
Aloha.